Mine says 16 participants.
All right, I'm gonna stop screen sharing for 1 second. So I can,
Well, when you do that, we get to be able to see more
yeah,
video feeds.
yeah, is that, does anyone need the agenda up?
No.
All right, then that's easier for me to be able to do background stuff.
Everybody ready? Good to go?
To go.
I'd like to welcome everybody this unprecedented meeting that we have to have. I know we don't like it. I know I don't. But thank you for all taking the time. It's been an interesting year so far. So might as well get right to it and start with the financial report.
Okay. As of October 31st, 2020, we have current assets of $56,544.56 in the Washington Trust checking account. In our money market account, we have $60,273.62 for a total of $116,818.18. Our accounts receivable at this moment are $4,343.75. That's just from LTAP on the final payment. And our accounts payable are zero. Current assets are $121,161.93. Our total depreciation fixed assets amount to $2.55. Everything's pretty much been depreciated out. Total assets, $121,164.48. And total liabilities and equities, $121,164.48. And just so everybody knows, I don't know if you had heard, but the 2019 tax filing and the 2019 financial audit came in on Friday, and Aaron has already posted them on the website. They're open to the public anyhow. So if anybody wants to see the audit or the tax filings for 2019, just go on the website and it's a PDF. And if you want a hard copy, let me know. I can mail one out to you too. So that's the financial report.
I didn't notice, did Tom Laughlin get a chance to come on, or is he not going to make it?
He never responded to me.
That's unfortunate. Well, as of most, if you don't know or you do know, Tom has decided to move on, and he's going to sunny Florida. And that's about really all I know, other than he won't be able to be on the board anymore. But there's a few things with Tom. I know he was sitting on a committee, and Erin has some information she'd like to request if anybody would like to replace him on a committee. Not the board, not talking about that. We're talking about a different committee that he was doing. Could you help out with that, Erin?
No, he was gonna speak at the Green Infrastructure Coalition Expo. I believe it's a virtual trade show. It's on November 19th. They were looking for him. I think he was gonna speak on the future of stormwater at the municipal level, challenges and opportunities for the future of stormwater management. So if anyone is interested, I can put up the meeting minutes on the website, and the information for Sarah Churgan is at the bottom of them.
I appreciate that. I'd also like to thank Tom. I know he can't listen, but for all the years of service. I know I talked to Erin. Hopefully we'll have that listed on the next newsletter that goes out, so
Yep.
that everybody will realize how long Tom actually has been involved and as much as he has helped the organization. So thank you, Tom.
He's been involved for a long time, but I'm still trying to go back in the records to find out when. I don't know if Jeff, you can remember, but it's been a while.
My memory doesn't go back that far.
No, I hear you. That's what happens when you get old.
Either way, we'll do the best we can with the newsletter for him. So I guess we'll have to step into board nominations.
Steve, can I just make a quick announcement before you do that?
Sure.
So as of December 31st, I will be retiring my post. So
All right.
I just wanted to make that.
Just retiring from the town, Mike?
Yeah.
Completely?
Well, I'll probably be back part-time, who knows? But yeah, I'm going to retire as of December 31st. I'm going down to, same thing, I'm going down to Florida for about a month or so right after the new year. Looking at some land right now and start building a house. So, but yeah, it's time to go. New council, I don't know if I can deal with another new council coming in another year. So just time to move on. 26 years, long time.
Wow, congratulations, Mike.
Great job.
Yeah, congratulations.
Congratulations. Yeah. Would Steve be interested in taking your spot? Is that a possibility?
Yeah, I can actually go get him now.
Just asking some, because, sort of last second, as they say,
Yep.
but
I can get him.
if he wouldn't mind at least filling in until we can do, come up with a different plan.
That's
If he
fine.
wants it and the board agrees, or the members agree, then I don't see a problem with that.
Okay, I can talk to him. I'll grab him right now.
Thanks. Anybody else retiring? I'd like to retire. One of these days.
Steve. Where? So I made my announcement to the board that I'm going to be retiring December 31st. Steve wants to know if you're willing to sit in on the board in my seat in a temporary capacity until they get somebody that wants to be permanent. Sure. Yeah, he's fine with that.
You'll agree with that?
Yep.
All right. So now, hopefully, Gary,
Yeah.
you have
Okay.
a list of the nomination.
Let me go through the list of nominations, and first I'll take a second on the nominations, and then I'll open it up to any other nominations. If there
Yes.
are others, then I'll do a vote for each individual. If not, I'll do it for the entire nominated list. And I'll throw in something here with Steve if I can think of it. So the nominations for president are Steve Matschek. The vice president would be Mike DeChico with an alternate of Steve Dano to complete the term or until some other appointment could be made. Secretary would be Charlie Walsh. The treasurer would be Robert Parker. So do I have a second for that list of nominations?
I'll second it.
Okay. Before I move forward with that, are there any other nominations for either president, vice president, secretary, or treasurer? Hearing no other nominations, then I would request a vote on the president as Steve Matschek, the vice president as Mike DeChico, with an alternate of Steve Dano upon his retirement, Mike's retirement. Secretary would be Charlie Walsh. Treasurer would be Robert Parker. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous from what I can tell on the screen. All those opposed? Yep, that would make it unanimous. Okay, there. So the board has nominated and approved Steve, Mike, Charlie, and Robert for the executive directors on the board. That should take care of that, Steve, so you can move forward with your training.
All right. Thank you very much, everybody. Hopefully we can have some interesting trainings this year because it's time to start doing something. I know we're going to have the state and the LTAP, the T2 and all that things you're used to, not going to happen. All right. They're doing their own thing. Basically, they're just playing videos from national LTAP on their end. And so if anybody wants to sit in on any of their trainings, it's fairly simple. A lot of them don't pertain to the local as I see it. Some do, but most we have all of those for the biggest percentage. There's some other trainings we'd like to start. I know Jeff works a lot with another organization as well that has been doing trainings. And we can do in-person trainings, and we can do indoor, outdoor, and online trainings. All right, we obviously have to limit the size of the class. We have to be spread out. Then it will come into the financial end of it, what we're going to have to do. So what we're looking for is opinion, ideas, recommendations from as many as possible on your thoughts and feelings. I know some of us have budgets for training. Some may not have budgets for training, but with the state doing, basically removing our option and the way we were operating, the association's funding for those trainings came from the state through a federal program. The only way that you're going to take advantage of that at this time is on an online class right now. And I guess that's how they're going to justify it, at least for now. The outdoor trainings that we can still request from them, that may help the association because the state doesn't have the resources, the locations or the equipment to provide it for the local. So we may have an upper hand there if we can push that. That would have to come from as many of us as possible to the state requesting bucket truck training, a hands-on training, chainsaw training, hands-on again, obviously done outside. Those types of trainings, that might help us with receiving some funding from the state, yet to be seen completely. But
The only thing on that, Steve, just to clarify, is there would be no funding for the Public Works Association.
Correct.
From the state.
right, they're trying to run everything, even though we know they can't do it. So my recommendation is to request it to see them fail, so they can understand that they can't do it. They'll obviously may tell us no, that we won't provide that training. Then we'll have more of a leg to send a letter to the powers at DOT, would be my recommendation. Other than that, moving forward, I have a small budget for training. I can afford to cover a per head fee, as long as we can break it down reasonably, using our own facilities and our own equipment, paying for a trainer and some administration costs. I think that would be acceptable, and that's how I see it. I mean, we're gonna have to come up with something moving forward to help the departments.
We did do that for a while, right? A year or two
We had
ago,
started.
we were,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, I know we were supplementing that training cost, and we have to be careful with that because our numbers have gone down through the years, slowly, but have gone down, unless we have some other means to bring our balances back up and offset the cost of training. But we did do it for a little while. We were getting purchase orders from different communities, and we were billing those towns for the training. So, I mean, that's an option or a thought if the other towns are interested in, like you say, Steve, as long as they have funding in their accounts for training. So, and maybe if there's enough interest in a different department having to pay for their accounts, maybe that also helps the cause with elected officials saying, hey, where's the state help on this? Where's the funding that we used to have, or the free training programs that we used to get? Maybe it would help. I don't know. Just a thought.
Any little bit of leverage that we can come up with to reinforce a letter to DOT, that would help, I believe, in some way. If they're not providing the training that we need, then that they should at least see that. And hopefully we can move forward from there.
Right.
I know I would, this year has been difficult for everybody. I would like to do, if we could, some vendor sponsored training sessions from all the specialties that our vendors provide, whether it's other pavement preservation vendors, equipment vendors, service vendors, you know, the vendors that sell safety equipment. They might be able to put together an hour long or a 40-minute long small training that is specific to their company. Whether, again, like I said, pavement preservation would be huge because we have so many of those. Equipment, if there's anything new that's come out, because obviously no equipment show last year, which obviously is one of the biggest funding events that we held every year. So hopefully things in the spring will turn around or before, and we can have that event. But seeing that unless you're going or checking everything online, you don't know what's come out new or what equipment changes have been made. So I'm hoping we could set up something in that type of a training through our vendors to help them get a little face time, as well as to provide us with any updated or interesting training. So that's what I'm thinking about. And that can be done on the job. If we're doing something with a vendor, or it could be just done through them with us on a Zoom meeting at their facility or anywhere to show us how their product would help our cause.
If you're doing it on a job, it's something that I can video and then post on the website as well.
Well, we'd be able to do a live, I would hope we'd be able to do a live, like Zoom, with
Yeah.
questions and answers at the end of the presentation or informational section.
Yeah.
And then obviously we could video at the same time and then post it online afterward. That would start creating a file. I'm sure we can twist a few arms in that department, especially Mr. Dexter. I see him on the screen.
Do you have a preference for day? Anyone have a preference for like the best day to do that? Is a Wednesday or a Tuesday typically, or doesn't really matter?
Yeah, this would come from all you guys. What would be the most convenient time for you to have some of and the staff that you would require or want to see that type of a training for a short hour long, well, less, 50 minutes? Say we can start with pavement preservation, for instance. What time of day would be best for you in your scheduling to have this training? Would it be first thing in the morning? Or, obviously you don't want to interfere with your breaks and lunches. So what would work best in most of your opinions? I see a first thing in the morning.
Steve, this time seems to be pretty good because you can get your crews going and then jump into this.
So 8:30 to 9:30 or 8 to 9, depending on how quick you can get your crews out in the morning that aren't going to be participating. That works for me.
That works for me too.
So the morning seems to be what everybody's confident with. So we just have to come up with some training points. For which
Well,
vendor.
Mike doesn't care because he's going to be dressing hair. That's what I heard is next bench is going to be hairdressing.
It'll be a barber.
Oh, yeah.
It'll be a barber.
A barber. Is that a better term for you, Mike? Barber? Or a hairstylist, I thought was the term, no?
I guess.
Yeah.
Well, doesn't it really depend on the subject? The subject may be more appropriate for office staff, or a subject may be more appropriate for the crew. So
It would depend on, so I agree, it will depend on the type training and the type staff we're dictating to for that training.
Sure.
I mean, most obviously in the public works would be, if it's pavement preservation, it's your frontline people. If it's some kind of management training, then it'll be office staff, superintendents, foremen, and such. So I still think the timing for the most part would be morning. I mean, there could be a few later trainings for different individuals. So I would say once we post a training, once we have a vendor signed up to do it, and we'll just have to send out a few. I hate to bury you in emails, but it seems to be the easiest way to remind everybody of things, and then do the live Zooms, and we'll see how they go. If we can get a few people, it's not, the vendor is putting up their end, then we should be able to cover some cost on ours as long as we can get some quality out of it. I think it'll be acceptable to most.
Hey, Steve, Tony here. How you doing?
Good. How are you, Tone?
And thank you for allowing me to participate in the meeting today. Just something I know Bob and I have had some discussions over the last 6 months or so. We could consider doing like a joint presentation. If you're interested, we could do like a pavement management and then preservation. We're working on a presentation now with robotics, which is an automated methodology for Rhode Island League. So that was definitely something I would offer to help with if Bob's interested.
Yeah, I know I'd like to create like a series for that, because pavement management is so many different aspects, whether there's the engineering end, the companies such as Robotics for what they do, and then all the different options that come after that. Once you've decided these roads, we need to do this, and then all those vendors get a series after we have the initial presentation on pavement preservation. And then we have each vendor present their application, whether it's a crack seal or a micro or anything, asphalt. Even if we can get one of the vendors, I think we can get all states to do that for us. And that way we can move forward in that direction quicker.
Okay. Yeah, I'd offer to help with whatever you want in terms of how you structure it. We are working on coordinating like a roundtable type session for Rhode Island League. They had reached out to us a couple of weeks ago on that. So it might be something we could almost mimic what we do for Rhode Island League and do the same thing for Rhode Island Public Works.
Yes, I imagine they canceled their event for, was it January?
Yeah, it's all virtual.
Right.
Yeah, it's just a virtual meeting. Yeah. But you can they're offering education sessions, and that's what they reached out to us about. The same thing that you're trying to do here.
Tony,
Yeah.
I'm going to write down your name. I also have Matthew Gehrig from Craftco that was interested in participating in that.
Yeah, those roundtables we used to have, I think Jeff set them up at the Lincoln Avenue RIDOT. Those worked out good because you did have a lot of interaction with directors, and I know I learned quite a bit at those. And also, Tony, I know you guys had when we did the road preservation class down at URI, at the campus up in West Greenwich, with the pavement preservation plan. You had a really good program there.
And that was when Robotics, actually, I think they did a presentation as part of that meeting that day. And that was, I think, now 2 or 3 years ago. And now we've done a lot of work with them in Rhode Island. So it's good. We have some good case studies in Rhode Island, in Smithfield, Warwick, and Cranston. I think Pawtucket as well. So we have some local projects that we could talk to directly, here right in Rhode Island, which is nice.
I think we have a nice representation today of cities and towns from across the state. It looks like we have from South Kingston to North Smithfield to Situate to Barrington. So we got the state covered. Ray, is there anything that's hot for you up in North Smithfield that you or your crews would like to know about?
We can't hear you. No, for some reason your speaker's not working. Maybe type in the chat.
while he's doing
It
that,
says he's unmuted, but we can't hear him.
I had that problem with it. John, how about South Kingstown? Anything for your public works or engineering or other?
No, I mean,
In the
Haven
chat?
preservation, I think we got a pretty decent handle on. The chainsaw hoisting classes are good. The bucket classes are all good. I think our problem is we're having finally turnovers in employees. So new people coming on board, we need to get them trained and probably give other people a refresher. So I think the classes you folks have been providing are fine for us.
More of the hands-on type stuff, the
Yeah.
crew stuff? Yeah. How about Joe Duart over in East Greenwich?
Same thing. Right now, it's again, like John said, a lot of turnover and new people. I think going through the programs you normally have is going to be beneficial, but I don't know. I can't think of anything at this moment other than what you've been providing. And like you said, Jeff, hands-on is always the best. Keeps them awake, and I think it's always helpful.
Okay, I know I see Kirk Loisel from Situate on, and I know Kirk has asked for the chainsaw class, and I know that we've done it at his location in the past, as well as down in Exeter and a bunch of other places. Kirk, do you still have trees up there in Situate? No,
Might be busy.
not there. He's muted. And I think John Corso over in Cranston, he's asked for that chainsaw class as well.
Yeah, I can still provide the training location here in Exeter for almost any of the classes, realistically. If indoor, outdoor, the size of the shop, we can spread everybody out far enough. We have plenty of tables and chairs to set up a training at any time. Obviously, we have plenty of trees. Kurt probably give me a run for my money on trees, but but we have the facility, we have location. It's just a matter of trainer costs and such to figure out the math. And then we can get that done in a fairly short period of time and put an email out to the entire organization, everybody on our list, see who can send, and we'll have to obviously limit it to what the trainer feels comfortable with and what the facility can handle. Because obviously the people coming to another facility, if it's a large enough shop, you get enough space, cleaning it afterwards is simple. So that's realistically what we need to pay attention to. If we have to put a plan together to send to upstate, my EMA director will do that so that we'll be in perfect sync with the state and all the regulations that come from that. And anybody can do that. If your EMA director works with you well, they'll put a little plan together and submit it. And if it's under a certain amount of people, we don't have to do it. But just to make everybody feel safe, I believe we can do that fairly simply.
Hey, Ray,
It looks like this COVID thing is not going away.
Not anytime soon.
But, the trees are still going to fall and the grass is going to grow and the snow is going to come down and new people are coming in and old people are retiring and life has to go on.
Yeah, like the hands-on flag course. I know we can still do it. That's one of the ones we all need to get refreshed. And it seems like that has to happen quite regular. I wish we could have had the snowplow training, but.
and
that
Ray
was
is
a lot
saying tree
difficult.
maintenance is a big issue.
And I talked to the
Oh, yeah,
flagger
the trees are
instructor.
huge.
I talked to the flagger instructor the other day, Billy Ibers, and he's still doing training in Connecticut. They're doing it in person. He has all the protocol from the Connecticut Center. And he talked about the last flagger class he did. He wiped down everything between passing it around. He had rubber gloves available, plenty of spacing. And as Steve said, his shop is sure big enough for spacing and keeping the numbers down. It's a no-brainer.
Well, they could also bring their own stop and flow paddles for the training. That would be one less problem to worry about. Everybody has them, everybody uses them. Hopefully they do anyway.
Has
So-
anyone had any issues with their crews? Anybody
No.
have any? No. No.
Other than new hires, that they're
No,
not
I
have the
meant-
training.
I know, I meant positive cases. Anyone have any positive
Oh,
cases?
no.
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 No. No.
Adam, how's it going in North Kingston?
Everything seems to be going well. We're kind of in the same boat as everybody else. We got a slight turnover. On the, I guess the section of help that we might need is, obviously with the turnover, people are starting to move up. So a little bit of management, training wouldn't be terrible for us, although that gets us more of in a classroom rather than standing outside, with the paddles. So I can't see that being very, very good timing. But the new guys coming up, as much as I'd like to help, sometimes hearing it from other people is better. It helped me anyhow. That's probably where we lack. If we can get in on some of the other training, chainsaw training, flagger training, that's all terrific as well.
I monitored a class that the Connecticut T-Square Center did. It was a management training class. Rocky Blunt, who has been around a long time, one of our instructors, did it. And it was very much like this. There was about a dozen people. Everybody was remote. And I thought it was a great class. So it's possible to do.
Did he play football for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
No.
Oh,
No. Rocky, no.
name was familiar.
No. No.
All right, so I guess we'll just put something together for the online type trainings. We'll put something together for the in-person type trainings. We'll have to talk to them individual vendors, scheduling, time of day, location, cost, and then we can put out an email to everyone for what we can come up with and move forward from there. On the vendor Zoom informational sessions, those should be a little bit easier for everybody because it's just going to be a presentation. Getting the timing down on that will be similar to the other type trainings. So they just will be a shorter version, being only 50 minutes or an hour long, depending on question and answers. Obviously, we have commitments from Beta and Marino, and I'm sure we can get them from plenty of vendors to put on these trainings for us in a series based on whether it's stormwater, which I know a lot of towns still want stormwater trainings, and pavement management, and then some obviously management type trainings be a little different, but that'd be my thoughts going forward on that. I think we beat it pretty hard. Well, I move on to the equipment show. I'm still hoping we can have it in May. They say there's a vaccine coming eventually, if anybody dares take it. And then if the venues will allow the numbers, and then getting everybody's support to allow their people to go to the event. It'd be another big question mark on that we'll have to look at closely after the first of the year. I know we still have vendors that are signed up that are holding their spaces. So we're moving forward, but we're waiting just like everybody else. And I don't believe anybody knows any more information than anybody else as far as when and if we can. So it's positive that we'll have it. I would like to keep that. And then we'll see. Anybody else have anything they'd like to bring up, discuss?
Steve,
I have
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I apologize. Steve, if we have a vendor who's interested in providing something for us, should we have them contact you, Aaron? You want me to get the information and then send it to you guys? How do you want that to happen?
Any way you
Send it
do
to
it's
Aaron.
fine. Whether you send it to me, I would prefer Aaron first, but both is fine. And then
Okay.
we can talk to them about what the structure with arranging. That way we can get their timing down depending where they're coming from. I don't know if it's going to be just a Zoom one, but sometimes, like I said, Aaron might be at the same location to do some videoing, especially if it's a in-person type showing, depending on the vendor. If it's gonna be, so this, yeah, just move it on to Aaron and myself if you want, and then we'll get in touch with them and it'll start to arrange it.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Jeff?
Just Bob had mentioned all the good chatter that happened when we would have the roundtables. And so as long as this part of the meeting is closed, I will now throw out into the chatter. I cannot get the lug nuts off my 2000 Dodge Dakota plow truck. I have tried torches, WD-40, PB blaster, a 4-foot breaker bar. I have tried everything. And I
Buy a
cannot-
new one.
Yeah, no.
Tell Situate to use less salt.
No, I cannot get them damn lug nuts off.
You can't heat them, Jeff?
I've heated them with the cutting torch. I've heated them. I've cooled them. I've done everything I can possibly do. And I didn't know if anybody had anything that I hadn't already found on YouTube.
Well, the only other thing is to snap them off and
Yeah.
Either
They
that or
got
you could,
impact on.
you could try turning them counterclockwise.
Tried it. But as my neighbor said, well, what do you have to take the wheel off for? I said, well, you're right. Now it's just a fight. I can't get the damn thing off and it's bugging me. I probably spent 10 hours so far trying to get the lug nuts off. It was a beautiful Saturday laying on the foam in the driveway trying to get the damn lug nuts off.
when you're heating them up, are they glowing red? And holy cow.
Yeah. I mean, they're glowing so much they're almost melting.
Wow.
It's
Yeah, you need a
something-
bigger impact gun, then they'll break.
Yeah, you're just gonna have to snap them off and then replace the studs.
Gee, thanks.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Just buy a new truck.
Yeah, no.
No.
All right, guys. Thank you.
I appreciate all you being on today.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Dick.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Right.
you.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah.
And enjoy Florida, Mike. You can find
Yes.
Tom down there. Maybe you can play
Yeah,
some
well,
golf.
I'm not going down right away. I'm just going down for a little bit. I'll be here most of the year. So if anybody is looking for good labor, I'm still going to be looking for a job.
All right. See you later.